Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So in this one, we have a really sweet build with Ghost. Ghost just dropped really recently, and this was a card I was pretty excited for. Really interesting effect, ongoing. Your cards are always revealed last. So the easier way to understand this is it is always giving your opponent priority in when their cards reveal. There is one exception to this. When you play Ghost, the turn you play Ghost, you don't just get to play Ghost and have it flip priority mid-turn reveal. So that's important to know because that was an interaction a lot of people thought might be the case, myself included, but after actually getting the card and seeing how it plays, it does not work that way. It basically, once it's on the field, as long as it stays there, your opponent will always have priority. So really neat card. This is a effect that I think a few decks can use surprisingly effectively, and I think we have found a deck that really likes this kind of effect. So we are playing a modified version of Cleanup Zoo. If you haven't heard of this, this is a build that was made by Cleanup 141, and we made some slight modifications to it. The cool thing about the build was it was very budget friendly. It was basically kind of just like a classic zoo list, but with the additions of Shang-Chi and Enchantress to take down powerful threats from the opponent. We made two slight changes to this deck, and they have been very, very good for us so far. The first one is the addition of Bast. Bast is a very, very powerful card in the Zoo Shell. If you look at the deck we have here, there's only one card that does not appreciate Bast setting it to 3, and that is Ka-Zar. Every other card is either doesn't affect it or is a buff, and especially when we have a bunch of cheap 1-drops to slam down, it ends up being pretty damn good. So this is actually the card that I think is more important for this version of the build than Ghost. I know probably the most common question I will get in the comments is, hey, what can I replace Ghost with? Or hey, do I need Ghost for this deck? And honestly, I'm going to say no. I don't think you need Ghost for this deck. I think you can very easily play this deck without Ghost and still be successful. However, Ghost does enable some positions where we can win with Shang-Chi, where we otherwise would not have been able to without her. So wanted to address that, but I think Bast is actually the more important card for this list. So if you have to kind of prioritize your resources here, or if you already happen to have Bast from spending tokens or opening it in pool 4, I think you should be good to play this list. I would just put in another decent 1-drop over Ghost, so maybe something like Nightcrawler seems pretty good and was in the original cleanup build, or if you're running into a lot of Killmonger stuff, Armor, not a bad choice as well. People are probably also going to ask why we don't run Armor in this deck. Main reason for that is it just doesn't really fit what we're trying to do, and right now there are only two main decks in the metagame that actually usually run Killmonger, being Deathwave and Sarah Control. So if you're seeing a ton of those, maybe it's worth considering, but since those are really the only two decks I usually see Killmonger from, I don't think it's necessarily worth a main deck slot. So looking at the other cards here, I really, really like Mr. Fantastic in this deck. Gives us a way of playing into closed down lanes, which is very convenient. Squirrel Girl does a similar thing while also supporting our go wide strategy. Ant-Man, just really, really powerful 1-drop. Sunspot, probably one of the best 1-drops in the game. Iceman gives us some nice disruption. Angela, really good with the Bast buff and just good in general in a swarm style deck. Same thing with Bishop, pretty much the exact same thing applies. He appreciates the Bast buff and the fact that we are swarming out a bunch of cards. Shang-Chi, so this is kind of our tech slot. This really gives us game against some of the more popular decks in the meta, such as Thanos and more particularly Shuri. I've won a surprising amount of games versus the Shuri deck, which you might not think would be the case given that we're more of a go wide deck while they're just a really big go tall deck. But you'd be surprised how many times Shang-Chi just enables us to totally flip the Shuri matchup on its head. So really, really important here, and definitely a big reason we are able to compete. Then we just have our buffs here with Blue Marvel and Ka-Zar, just the natural zoo buffs, really, really good. So I love this deck. We played this on stream earlier today for a good 2 or 3 hours. Ended up getting a little bit over a 60% win rate with it. It just feels really nice. I'm a big fan of this deck, and so far it has been the best Ghost deck that I have tried out. So if you are interested in this card, or you happen to open it or whatever, and you're looking for a home for it, this is what I'd recommend. So we're going to get right on to some games with it. Before we do, if you enjoy this type of content, remember to like and subscribe. Done to help out the channel. Keeps the videos coming. Without further ado, let's get into the games. A little. Damn, Luke's bar. So we got to be aware that the mirror dimension can turn into the bar. Ugh, gross. Doing this. Sauron means Shuri. Shuri can never get into Luke's bar unless they have Zola. So we need to leave our spot open. This hand's actually quite good versus Shuri. Ghost is quite good for us too. I'm gonna snap. Ooh, actually, is Fantastic better here? I think it is. Arm, GG, thanks for the follow. Wait, what happened? Oh, they passed. So they're gonna She-Hulk me? I think this is just a W. This is really awkward for the Shuri player. Yeah, nice Taskmaster. Amigo. Also, this is where Ghost just won us a game. Feels good, man. Get him, Ghost. Played, but it would be very cool if it happened when you got like all the stones together. They answered in the QA that they're working on it right now, and they said it looks really epic, so I'm excited. Oh, TVA. Alright. I'll snap a TVA. Does it wait? This still happens, right? Which means that's actually really good for us. That's what I thought too. Because this means that we can Mr. Fantastic and guarantee win left. Maybe I should have held it and played Sunspot.
Time's up.
Sucks we didn't get a 1-drop. Still going for it. Too bad. Yeah, I think it'd be nice if they added a way to count the, Oh, wait. Did we get screwed here? 3, 2, 5. Ah, we win, right? Yeah, we win. Hoggies. Mr. Fantastic is kind of the nuts in this deck. I've been very impressed for myself to an extent, is not having to worry about some of that stuff. Though, what I'm doing isn't exactly usually sustainable for many people. And you are at the mercy of some other things, such as the algorithm, which can be very challenging at times as well. So there's definitely give and take to it. Alright, it's Shuri. Pretty sure we just do this. Big house is good for us. Wow, they just canceled their armor. Omega lol? Why? Why would they do that? Actually... This is better. Well, I may not know a lot about careers and decisions like that, but what I do know is if it was affecting you negatively where you were, I think you're great, even if they're challenging. You only got one shot at it, so better make it count, right? Life is what I mean, not a job. So makes sense to me. I just dump this, and then we surprise him in the big house. Actually, no. Do this. And then I hold the squirrel girl, I think. Oh, they're gonna have a She-Hulk coming down here, I bet. That's fine, though. Yeah. Hey, She-Hulk. All right, man. Best of luck. I'll catch you later. Have a good day. Look at that. This deck is awesome. This deck is so cool. I'm still very pleased with this deck. I like this deck a lot. Oh, do we have another control gamer? Control Swarm. Ghost helps us against Shang-Chi, maybe. Though usually our deck isn't weak to Shang-Chi, but sometimes you can get Angela or Bishop up to a very large number. Okay, they're just regular discard. Me believe it's real me. Actually, adding mines in our deck isn't that bad. Do we want to put up a fight here? I don't think so, because of the Morbius. I think we're going these two lanes. Dracula, Swarm. Okay. Seems like there's so much potential for stuff to go wrong. Alright. Why is there a Cosmo in this deck? Hello? I might lose to Dracula here. I'm gonna stay in though. Make him have it. I think we do lose to Dracula though. They're probably just gonna slam Chavez to Dracula when we lose. My guess. What? What? Oh, let's get it, dude. It's Dracula. Victory. As well as more effects, so I'm super stoked about that. Because I've been saying from the start, if they find a way to let me split cards more often, they're gonna make a lot more money. I care more about splits than I do about progress. I love the splits. I am a sucker for some cool looking art. Could put her mid. Like, I know most people end up with a credit bottleneck. I end up with a booster bottleneck too, because I split cards so many times. And it just like takes forever to get the boosters. Even though I play a lot, I play this game a lot. It takes time. Yeah, I personally think it's a good mentality to not care a ton about going for the infinite grind. It benefits me because of content creation to go for it. And I always have had that little bit more spiky of a mentality in card games. But I think most people are better off not stressing trying to get to infinite every month. At least under the current system. You know, maybe they make it better and whatnot in the future and then whatnot, but it's the grind can be stressful. Definitely be stressful. So the Squirrel Girl's kind of messing us up here a bit. Yeah, booster farming is nice when you finish the infinite climb. I agree. We already snapped. Oh no, we didn't. So, here's my reasoning, chap. If they have Arrow, Arrow is always going here. Although I guess Arrow doesn't win them the game. It's going to be a Taskmaster line, I imagine. We beat Taskmaster. But just in case, a random fucking Arrow, I'm putting it here. Because they could do Arrow 1-drop, I guess, to try and beat us down mid. I do like the card back this month for Infinite, though, I will say. I do like the card back. Did we call it or did we call it? Victory.